You are Locked On Yankees POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports New York on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, hi again, everybody. Welcome aboard. Yanks had a chance to take a commanding 2-0 series lead over the Kansas City Royals. Instead, KC had other plans. Royals beat the Bombers tonight 4-2. They even up the series at a game apiece, and now it's the best of three heading back to Kansas City. Neither starting pitcher tonight brought their A game. Both bullpens did. They were excellent. We'll get to everything from game number 2. Hello, everyone. I'm Jay Berman. If you're not familiar with my work, welcome aboard. If you're a New Yorker, you might know who I am. Regardless, I've spent more than 2 decades in the biz, everything from TV to web to radio. You can follow me on X at Jay Berman. That's JayBerman. Welcome to the Locked On Yankees postcast, both on the Locked On Sports New York YouTube channel and the Locked On Yankees podcast feed. The postcast gives you a place to hang out every single Yankees game. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. We'll chat everything Carlos Rodon, who got the start tonight, just his 3rd postseason appearance, his 2nd start, and obviously nothing to write home about. We'll break that down. We'll talk bullpen usage for both sides as the Pens were squarely in focus tonight, and good work. Kudos to both. Judge and Witt likely to be the top 2 in the AL MVP voting, respectively. Neither hitting at the moment. They've combined for just 1 hit in the series. And, of course, we'll get you set for the rest of the series. We head to Kansas City for games 3 and 4. As we said at the top, it's now the best of 3 for the right to advance to the ALCS. All that coming up on the postcast. This episode is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.com, the right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your baseball rivals. Book today on Booking.com, the official accommodation partner of Major League Baseball. Get the Booking.com app today. And away we go. As we said, 4-2, the final score. And now we have ourselves a brand new series. The ALDS tied up a game apiece. In fact, we have 4 division series remaining, obviously 2 in each league. They are all tied at a game apiece. Yankees and Royals, game apiece. Tigers and the Guardians after today. Tigers won it 3-0. That series tied at a game apiece. Day off of the National League Division Series, Phillies and Mets tied at a game apiece. They'll play Tuesday. Dodgers and Padres tied at a game apiece. They will play Wednesday. As for the Yankees, again, 4-2, and they did not exactly have their hitting shoes on today. No one had more than a single hit. And we have to focus in on Aaron Judge, who did have an infield single in the 8th inning tonight, but that's been it. His only hit of the series. Meanwhile, on the other side, Bobby Witt Jr. went 0 for 5 with 3 Ks tonight. So the top 2, or at least what we expect to be the top 2 in the AL MVP voting, Judge 1 with 2. Well, they have been miserable, specifically these last 2 games. Royals plated 4 in the 4th after the Yankees put up 1 in the bottom of the 3rd, and they never looked back. Cole Ragans and Carlos Rodon, well, we'll start with Rodon. 3 2/3, 7 hits, 4 earned, obviously allowed a home run as well, and he loses his 3rd appearance in a postseason. As we said, Rodon has now 3 appearances in the postseason. 2 of them were starts, 1 with the White Sox and obviously today with the Yankees. He permitted 4 runs in 2 2/3 prior to tonight in 2 appearances. Well, guess what? He'll have 4 runs tonight alone. So we'll add up. The math is now 8 runs in just 3 2/3 and 2 2/3. So roughly 7 innings, right around there. And Rodon has been pretty bad in the postseason. Cole Ragans went the first 4, allowed just 1 run, but walked 4, struck out 5, allowed 3 hits, threw 87 pitches. And that's why he didn't get a chance to get the victory, which would have required 5 innings, or at least a minimum of 5 innings. Rodon, as we said, 3 2/3, 7 hits, 4 earned, did not walk a batter, started out strong. In fact, he was dominant in the first 2 innings. He struck out the side in the first, more of the same in the second and third, but once he hit the fourth inning, it was lights out. Again, 3 2/3, 4 runs, all earned. And as we said, we did not walk a batter, and he struck out 7. However, the bullpens come into focus tonight because after the two teams combined to use 11 pitchers in the opener, well, guess what? They used 13 tonight. Let's add them up. Rodon was followed by Hamilton, Cousins, Hill, Holmes, Canely, Meza, and Weaver. The only Yankee pitcher not to make an appearance out of the bullpen tonight, Luis Gil, who was obviously in the game or in the bullpen as a long man. If the Yankees had tied it up, obviously he would have been the last arm to go to. But again, the Yankees used 8 pitchers. As for the Royals, Reagans, Zerpa, Schreiber, Bubik, and Urseg all combined, with the exception of the Jazz Chisholm home run in the 9th inning off Urseg. They did not allow a run. Reagans allowed 1 earned run. Urseg allowed the home run, gets his 3rd save. Otherwise, the bullpens were pretty good. Yankee bullpen was excellent. As we said, Hamilton, Cousins, Hill, Holmes, Canely, Meza, and Weaver, every single reliever, with the exception of Luis Gil, they got in there and they did not allow a run. As we said, 3 2/3 from Rodon. Hamilton, inning and a third scoreless. Cousins, a third of an inning scoreless. Hill, 2/3 of an inning scoreless. Holmes, who seemed to be back on track despite allowing 2 hits, did not allow a run in his inning of work and struck out 2. Tommy Canely struck out 2 in his inning of work, did not allow a run. Tim Meza, 2/3 of an inning, struck out a batter. Luke Weaver got the final out in the 9th. And again, he was the 8th Yankee pitcher of the game. Rodon was 1-0 with a 2.08 ERA in 2 starts against the Royals this season. So perhaps that 4th inning was a bit of a surprise. He's pitched well against Kansas City. Now, we did tell you that in 2 previous playoffs games, appearances, one a start, one a relief appearance, he was not great, and more of the same tonight for Rodon. As for Cole Reagans, he made 1 start against the Yankees this season, allowed 2 runs. The only 2 runs he allowed was a 2-run homer to Juan Soto in 6 innings at the stadium all the way back in early September. Actually, that was September 11th. To be exact. So just under a month ago was when Reagan faced the Yankees, again, allowing the 2-run homer to Juan Soto, and that was it. But again, he was decent tonight. 4 walks, that was a lot. Got into and out of trouble early, allowed the run in the bottom of the 3rd when Bobby Witt could not make a play at shortstop. But again, Kansas City plated 4 in the next half inning, and they were on their way. Yankees bats have been ice cold, and that obviously is a problem. Specifically speaking, Aaron Judge, who coming into tonight was 8 for 60 with 3 home runs and 23 strikeouts in his last 15 postseason games, now barely above 200 for his career in the postseason. He had the infield single in the 8th inning, which did not result in a run. He was 1 for 3. His batting average after 2 games is 143. Again, just 1 hit. Bobby Witt struck out 3 times tonight, 0 for 5, and Kansas City still emerged victorious. Why? Well, Michael Garcia was excellent tonight. 4 hits, drove in a run, stole a base. He was excellent. Garrett Hampson, 2 hits in center field tonight. Really an excellent all-around approach from Kansas City, as again, they have taken the bull by the horns and run with it. And now we're off to Kansas City in a 1-1 series tie. For most, spending $2,000 or more on a rookie card isn't, well, in the cards. But here's something that will perk you up. Thanks to slab packs from arenaclub.com, it's possible to score gem mints for a fraction of their retail price. Arena Club is the only repack that gives real value, a complete view of all possible cards, and clear hit rates on each one. Arena Club's slab packs are fully transparent. After your pulls are revealed, they are immediately placed in your showroom for safekeeping, selling, trading, or auction. The Arena Club grading process is accurate, fast, and as we said, transparent. Whether you're buying, selling, trading, or displaying, Arena Club is the card collecting platform you just have to check out. Right now, you can get 10% off your first slab pack or card purchase. You can get 10% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/LockedOnMLB and use the code LockedOnMLB. That's arenaclub.com/LockedOnMLB with code LockedOnMLB for 10% off your very first purchase. All right, we're back. 4-2, the final score. Yankees lose game 2 of the American League Division Series to the Kansas City Royals. As we said, 4-2, the final score. Zerpa the win, Rodon the loss, Urseg the save. And believe it or not, Urseg has been pretty good, despite allowing the home run to Jazz Chisholm in the 9th inning, which got the Yankees within 2. Urseg now has 3 saves in the postseason. Remember, Kansas City took 2 from Baltimore in the wild card round to advance, so they've now played 4 games. He saved 3 of them. So excellent work there again, really from both bullpens. But again, 13 pitchers total used by the Yankees tonight. Salvador Perez, man, talk about clutch. Talk about a big bat. His 4th career home run off of Rodon. Coming into tonight, Perez was 12 of 26 entering tonight off Rodon. Rodon threw him a fat pitch. Perez deposited over the left field fence, and away we go. They would add 3 more runs after that, and the Royals stifled the Yankees' bats after that. Again, 4-2 the final score, 11 hits for Kansas City tonight. We have not talked about John Berti, who became just the 3rd player ever in the postseason to play a position for the first time in his career. His first ever start on any level at first base, and believe it or not, I was thinking about this tonight. Yanks miss Anthony Rizzo. Now, look, Rizzo really had a miserable season, and he's got a couple of broken fingers. Not sure how close he is. He won't play in the division series. If the Yankees advance to the championship series, we'll have to wait and see. But for the first time tonight, despite the excellent double play defensively turned by Berti at first base, Rizzo was missed in that lineup, especially against righties. Now, Reagan's was a lefty, or is a lefty, so perhaps Rizzo wouldn't have started tonight anyways. But against righties, he would have been in there. And I think the Yankees miss Anthony Rizzo, which is an amazing thing to say. As we said, Jazz Chisholm hit the 9th inning home run off Lucas Urseg. The Yankees would get the tying run to the plate in John Berti, but he obviously could not get the job done. He is retired for the final out. George Brett was on hand. They sure showed him a lot tonight. And again, the 4-2, the final score. So now the series is tied at a game apiece. As we talked about, the bullpens better than the starters. Rodon was miserable. The Yankees in game 1 saw Garrett Cole, not necessarily miserable, but not necessarily great either, after going just 5 innings. So, as we said, 13 pitchers in total used. It's modern baseball, folks. It's the new wave of pitching. Despite the fact that you have to pitch to at least 3 batters if the inning does not come to an end, we still have plenty of pitching changes. Rodon, Hamilton, Cousins, Hill, Holmes, Canley, Mesa, and Weaver. Count them up with me. 8 relievers tonight. 8 pitchers tonight. 7 relievers. Luis Gil, the only man in the bullpen that did not make an appearance for the Yankees tonight. All right, again, 4-2, the final score. Aaron Judge went 1 for 3, an infield single in the 8th inning. Obviously did not come around to score. Yanks only plated 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 9th. And quite frankly, they shouldn't have scored that first run. A shot by John Carlos Stanton in the 3rd was misplayed, or at least not able to be made. The play by Bobby Wood at short allowed Gleyber Torres to come around 3rd and score. And again, that was the lone Yankee run until the 9th inning when Jazz Chisholm went to the second deck in right field off Lucas Urseg. Again, 4-2 the final score. ALDS Game 2 goes to the Kansas City Royals, and now the series is tied at a game apiece. And we really have to set up Wednesday and Thursday for you. We'll start with Wednesday, which of course is a pivotal game 3. Yanks and Royals will begin at 7 Eastern in Kansas City. Clark Schmidt and Seth Lugo. Again, AL divisional playoff game number 3. Royals, the slightest of favorites, minus 105 on the money line. Really, at this point, it's a pick 'em. Very small line. Total is 7.5. Yanks and Royals tied at a game apiece. Schmidt and Lugo, 7:08 Eastern time, game 3 Wednesday night. As for Thursday night, that would be game 4. And obviously, that game will be played. Garrett Cole and Mr. Singer for Kansas City, they'll go up against each other in game 4, which would be 8:08 Eastern time. And because the Guardians and Tigers are also going to play a game 4 because their series is tied at a game apiece, they'll go first on Thursday at 6 Eastern. Yanks will go second with the Royals at 8 Eastern. Again, that's Thursday. So Wednesday, game 3. And we have Schmidt and Lugo, 7:08 Eastern time from Kansas City on Wednesday. On Thursday, game number 4, which obviously is an elimination game no matter what happens. Yanks and Royals, Cole and Singer, 8:08 Eastern time, game 4 ALDS. That, of course, is Thursday night. Now, if they need a game 5, a decisive game 5, it would be Saturday. Now, we don't know what time that would be because we quite possibly could have a game number 5 between the Tigers and Guardians as well. If that happens, Tigers and Guardians up first at 4:30 Eastern. Then it would be the Royals and Yankees at 8 Eastern on Saturday. If the Yankees and Royals are the only game playing, obviously that game would start earlier than 8 Eastern. We'll have to wait and see. But again, Tigers, Guardians, Royals, Yankees, if there is respective game 5s, that will be on Saturday. But before we get there, as we said, Wednesday, Schmidt and Lugo, Thursday, Cole and Singer, and Saturday would look like it would be lined up as Carlos Rodon for the Yanks and Michael Wacha for the Royals. But again, plenty to decide before then. All right, 4-2 the final score. As we said, the series now moves to Kansas City, a pivotal game 3. And as we said, the Yankees bats, and for that matter, every Yankee hitter really needs to step things up. The Yankees bats have been terrible. Coming into tonight, Aaron Judge, as we said, was 8 for 60 in his last 15 postseason games. He's certainly getting his cracks at it. 4 or 5 at-bats every night. Half a dozen to a dozen games every year. He's just not coming through. Just 3 home runs and 23 strikeouts in his last 15 postseason games, and now has just 1 hit. It was an infield single. He did not come around to score. Aaron Judge, and for that matter, Bobby Witt Jr. as well, both struggling. All right, this episode of the Locked On Yankees postcast is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.com, yeah. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your baseball rivals. Book today on Booking.com, the official accommodation partner of Major League Baseball. Get the Booking.com app today. Explore those U.S. cities you've always secretly wanted to learn more about, be it St. Louis or Denver, or how about even Seattle, the great Northwest. With hotels, bed and breakfasts, vacation rentals, resorts, and so much more on Booking.com, you might just find your perfect stay, even in your baseball rival's city during postseason. Maybe it's time to taste test your baseball competition stadium cuisine. Luckily, on Booking.com, you can find the stadium stay that's just right for you. With Booking.com's wide variety of choices across the U.S., you can go incognito to all your baseball rival cities. Booking.com can help you book a stay that's close to your home team's or rival's stadium. No matter what team you're rooting for this postseason, Booking.com can make you a fan of any U.S. city. From hotels that look over stadiums to family-friendly resorts to cute bed and breakfast stays, Booking.com has so many choices across the U.S. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your baseball rivals. Booking.com, yeah. All right, you've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Well, we've got something just a little bit different for you. All FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. And if that's not enough, be sure to check out FanDuel's Profit Boost in the app and use it for FanDuel's Double Your Winnings for all of September. Profit Boost will be live starting on Thursday, 9/12. View your account page now to learn more about FanDuel. All right, final segment of the show. Royals beat the Yankees tonight 4-2. The starters have struggled. The Pens have not. And we talked about the struggling stars. Bobby Witt Jr., obviously, for the Royals. Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Giancarlo Stanton, specifically Judge more than anybody. But nobody has been hitting really over the last stretch for the Yankees, with a few exceptions, obviously. But again, Judge, one infield single tonight that came in the 8th inning. He did not come around to score. One hit in the series. Bobby Witt tonight, 0 for 5, 3 strikeouts. He obviously didn't have a hit tonight. Doesn't have one in the series as of yet. So the two stars, the top two MVP placeholders, if you will, likely to be. We all expect Judge to win the award. We all expect Bobby Witt Jr. to finish second. And for conversation purposes only, I'm expecting Juan Soto to finish third. Regardless, both those guys at the top, 1 and 2, Judge and Witt, have struggled. Vinny Pasquantino went 0 for 4 tonight with 3 strikeouts as well. Yankees struck out 15 Royals tonight and still managed to send the Yankee Stadium crowd into pin drop territory. It was quiet for about 2 hours. Now, admittedly, in the 8th when Judge got on, and then in the 9th after the home run by Chisholm, things got exciting and the crowd began to stand up. But from really innings 5, 6, 7, 8 into the 9th, quiet. It was like a morgue at the stadium. And that's just not usually what we see. Yankee fans were so clamoring tonight for someone to get something going, and they just could not. Again, they struck out 15 Royals tonight, but Carlos Rodon wasn't very good. 3 2/3, 7 hits, 4 earned, did strike out 7, including the side in the opening inning. He was pumped, to say the least. Obviously, allowed the home run to Salvador Perez, his 4th career home run off Rodon. Worthy of note, and yes, he threw him a fastball right down the middle, but you're not going to walk him. Perez was 12 for 26 against Rodon coming into tonight. And obviously the one hit tonight was a home run, and it was a big one. All right, game 3 on Wednesday. As we said, just to review, they're in Kansas City for the next 2. Game 3, as we said, Wednesday, Schmidt and Lugo. Game 4, Thursday, Cole and Singer. And then if necessary, a game 5 would be on Saturday. Waka and Rodon would be the scheduled starters as of now. All right, 4-2 the final score. Kansas City gets a home run from Salvador Perez. They played 4 in the 4th. Good enough. Reagans and 4 relievers combined to shut down the Yankees. 13 pitchers threw a pitch in tonight's game. It's new wave of baseball, folks. Get on board. Thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. Now go check out the Locked On MLB podcast. Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully. He's got it all covered every single day. You can find the link to Locked On MLB in the description, so you don't need to search. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Before we get out of here, also want to mention our partners in crime over at Locked On Yankees, Stacey Gotsulias and Brian McKeon. They handle all the stuff over there, and they're the best. Follow, subscribe, and enjoy. As we said, a 4-2 loss for the Yankees tonight. They cannot come through and take a commanding 2-0 series lead. Instead, it's now the best of 3, 2 in Kansas City and 1, if necessary, in New York, which would be Saturday. No matter what, game 4 will be an elimination game. Again, 1-1, series tied. ALDS game 3 will be Wednesday. Game 4 will be Thursday.